Hey everybody, Jim and Sarah here. Chapter 4 is entitled, That's Not Your Fight. And the whole point is, you don't have to fight every battle that comes your way. In chapter 4, I mentioned a great tool that is used in training horses, and I think that God uses with us as well. It's called the round pen, and it's simply a pen that's round. But it's a great tool to help the horse or the person start listening to you. Let me show you what I mean by getting Sari moving. I'm going to get her to go around in a circle, and she's close enough to me because we're in this round pen. She's not too far away. And I'm using this stick and string, this whip. I'm not to hurt her or to beat her. She's not afraid of it, but just to kind of as an extension of my arm to get her moving. Now in chapter 4, I talked about a time when Sari had been cooped up in her stall for a little while, and she was in the round pen with me, and she showed some signs of disrespect, like pinning her ears back and kicking up her heels. She may do that while we're doing this. And I had a choice as a leader. What am I going to do with this? And I chose to ignore it. Now, you can't always do that as a leader, but I knew I didn't have a whole lot to lose. Let me get her going a little faster. I didn't have a lot to lose because I could always turn up the heat and I could engage with Sari a little more. So I decided to just ignore it for the moment and see if she would get over it. Sometimes as a leader, the best strategy you can employ is to ignore the problem. Now, you notice I said sometimes. You can't ignore every problem. You can't ignore it in your church or in your business or with your kids. Sometimes you have to engage. But sometimes the best strategy as a leader is just to ignore it and see if the kinks are going to work out by themselves. Now in the round pen, I'm not trying to get Sari tired. I'm wanting to get her to listen to me and to pay attention to my body language. With my chest, I'm kind of driving her forward. I'm looking at her and kind of moving toward her assertively, and I'm driving her. And then sometimes I also want to change direction because that's what the head mare in the pasture does. He gets or she gets the other horses moving. Now here's the rule of the pasture. Whoever moves their feet is not the leader. Now, don't misunderstand this lesson. I'm not suggesting that you show up with a whip at your next board meeting or your next business session, and certainly don't show up at the dinner table with it, because somebody might be whipped and it just might be you. When I'm using these tools, I'm speaking Sari's nonverbal language, and I'm communicating with her. And then when I've taken off the pressure, I don't know if you can see this, she just turns around and she comes in for a little loving and says, "Did I do a good job, Dad?" Sometimes in life, you're gonna have problems that are best solved by just ignoring them. Not all the time. That's why we need God's wisdom. And then sometimes you're going to find yourself in God's round pen. You're going to be presented with problems, with difficulties, with circumstances that make you uncomfortable and that make you move your feet. Maybe what God is doing to you, He's seeing if you're respecting His leadership and if you're listening to His direction. Hey, the next time you find yourself in God's round pen, try to have a good attitude. Follow Him closely, and it's going to be good. See you next time.